Welcome to Beyond the Art, where creativity knows no bounds and innovation takes center stage. Join us on a captivating journey through the realms of the Native American art world, exploring the untold stories, inspirations, and the sheer brilliance that fuels the world of Indigenous artistry. Well, welcome to Beyond the Art, and today our guest is John Pepion. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you.
Well, can you share with our audience a bit about your background and what led you to become an artist?
I come from a family of artists. You could say I was born into it. My grandfather was an oil painter and wood carver. Several cousins and uncles are painters. I had a more interest of drawing, been drawing all my life. Decided to pursue art full time in 2009.
Well, fantastic. Well, you have some great pieces. Your art often reflects your Native American heritage. How does your cultural background influence your artistic process and the themes you explore?
It heavily influences me. I'm from the Blackfeet Nation in Montana, and I do a style of kind of like graphic style influenced by winter counts, which were done on buffalo hides and alkides, and also pictographs and petroglyphs. So you'll see that within my artwork. Sometimes it's referred to as ledger style, but I'm not limited to ledger paper. So
Mhm.
a lot of my artwork is based off of my identity as a Blackfoot Indian. Like I said, I'm from the Blackfeet Nation. We are of the Blackfoot Confederacy. It's not singular or plural. I'm from the Blackfeet band of the Blackfoot Confederacy.
So you work on buffalo hide. Is that your typical medium that you prefer to work with?
Um, right now, not really. Like I'll do buffalo hides, alkides, buffalo skulls, acrylic, even murals like concrete inside walls, and right now I'm doing a lot of paper, antique ledger paper.
Is that just because of the ease of it and the accessibility and less problematic than hides, or what drives you into that direction? Or is it just
It's
an
kind of
interest?
it's an interest, and it's like a combination because the genre of ledger art is based off of uh, historians and like archaeologists believe that ledger art stemmed from rock art to winter counts,
Mm,
and ledger art itself is over 100 years old, and there's several periods, and the period we're in now is contemporary ledger art.
mhm. Many of your pieces incorporate traditional Native American motifs and symbolisms. How do you balance tradition with innovation in your art, and what drives you to go in those particular directions?
Um, being in my community and learning from the elders that we still have today, and learning our stories, our personal stories, our family stories, and our history. Um, Being around that is a heavily influence, and you'll see that within my artwork. Like I said, my artwork is based off of Blackfoot identity. All the
Mhm.
symbology is related to my tribe, heavily inspired by like the beadwork, the quill work, the war shirts, the parfleche, which is like rawhide artwork. And we're one of the few tribes that paint our teepees, so we have painted we have painted teepees as well. So I'm heavily influenced by that. All that I mentioned is you'll see within my artwork.
Can you talk about how you use your platform as an artist to raise awareness and advocate for change?
Yes, for me personally, with my artwork and my story is in my generation as an indigenous person in Montana, we're going through a time period where we are taking things back that was taken from us. Our language was taken from us. Our land was taken
Mm,
from us. Our water was taken from us. Our songs and our identities and even our artwork. But in our language, we don't have words for like artwork or artist. But I feel like help taking some of that stuff, bringing it back, taking our identity back through artwork, and using my voice and platform to tell the world of who we are, because we were so normalized for having institutions and museums telling us who we are,
mhm.
and often putting us in the past, and people believing that we no longer exist. Because with my platform, you should see the crazy questions I get if we still live in teepees, or
Oh yeah.
all the crazy questions. And a lot of people I do meet sometimes or find on social media for that find my artwork can't believe that like we still exist. And so, like I said, I'm using my artwork as a voice to tell the world of who I am and who we are as Blackfeet people.
hmm I mean, that's so true of what you said. And I was talking to someone else previously, and they said it's a movement now. We're not just the ebb and flow and the it factor, but now there's a real movement that's happening because of so much being focused on everything from fashion and culinary arts in the Native American world and art in general. So it's our movement, and now we're being heard that we're not just one homogenized people. We're many nations in a country that have some similarities and connections, but yeah, the outside world still looks as this. Oh, do you live on a reservation? Do you live on a teepee? And it's mind boggling at times.
Yeah, and I agree. There is a huge movement, especially like you said, with the culinary or the foods, bringing back the traditional foods, and
hmm
also also within like sometimes as an artist, like I never really seen myself as like a activist, but sometimes I've been thrown into some of the social justices or some of the stuff we're faces. So in the past, I've done pieces related to oil, water, missing and murdered Indigenous women and
hmm
people, and then other issues. Sometimes I never wanted to, but worked with organizations or maybe even activists themselves to create those kind of works as well too.
What are some of the challenges you face as a Native American Indigenous artist in today's art world, especially on a global and national platform? And how do those challenges navigate you?
For me personally, I feel that it's like inclusion. Like I'm in Montana, and in a few weeks I have a big art show, and I choose to be in this art show called um, the Out West Show, and there's only like maybe 5 or 6 Indigenous people out of like 200 artists in that show, and a lot of the artists are painting Indigenous people.
hmm
And here we are as the actual Indigenous people, and we're always overlooked. But you get these non-Indigenous people painting us, and they become the specialist telling our story, and they think they have it so
Right.
correct. But as a person, I don't correct them. I'm just glad to be an actual voice, and to make a presence, because we need more of a presence in any kind of genre and art world right now. And
hmm
like I said, sometimes we're included in these shows or markets, but I feel like we're still kind of put in the brown section or in the back or on the side, and we always have to still fight for a space, a place at the
hmm
table. So with my artwork, I'm constantly trying to get a place at the table.
Your art often celebrates the natural world and the connection between humans and nature. How does nature inspire your creative process?
Where I'm at is by Glacier National Park and the Canadian border,
hmm
and so the mountains play a heavy part within our medicines, our stories, our visions and dreams and everything. So the animals, a lot of the animals are meaningful to us, especially in ceremonies and in our culture. And so there's a connection here. So if I want to clear my mind, I'll walk to the water or be in the mountains and be inspired. And then a lot of our stories, warrior stories, our personal stories, our history, and what we're going through now. So yeah, a lot of the animals I do, especially birds, are very important within our culture.
Can you walk us through the significance and some of the reoccurring symbols or themes in your artwork?
There's a cross-looking symbol within my artwork. For us, it represents a few things. Morning star,
Mhm.
and morning star is very important to us. We believe that the sun and the moon married each other, and morning star is their sun. And that's just a small portion of that. But you'll see that symbol within our teepees, and a lot of other Blackfoot artists in Canada and Montana use that. Also, it stands for moth
Mhm.
and butterfly, and those are like bringers of good dreams. Other symbols you'll see a lot is universal with a lot of Indigenous people is the sun. The sun is the most important within our culture. And then also, you'll see a lot of maybe triangles at the bottom with circles at the bottom. Those come from our teepees, and those triangles represent the mountains. And then the circles are stars. Like a lot of indigenous people, we have a lot of star stories and heavily influenced stories and like symbology and cultures related to the stars.
What motivates and inspires you in the work that you create? Do you have a vision when you start thinking of something that you wanna project outward and incorporate into your artwork, or is it just you start sketching? I mean, what's
Um,
the
well, there's a few things. One is I am a active participant within our ceremonies year round. Our ceremonies are year round, and being at those, listening to the stories, taking part dancing or looking at some of the old stuff that they have
Mhm.
that come out, like the rattles or some of the stuff that come out during those our influence, especially the designs and the colors. And then reading books, gathering stories, and I also have a background in museum studies and visit museum collections. And one of the most recent collections I visited was the Yale Peabody collection of some of the stuff from my tribe, and it was awesome to see because you're sitting there looking at family items, stuff from our culture and designs, and just influenced by that. So personal experience, other people's experience, especially older warrior stories that are continued on in families, are cool stories that are told at ceremonies and family stories and just influence all the time. Like people always ask me like, how do you just keep drawing? Well, since I was a kid, I have all these ideas and they're just stuck in my head. Sometimes I lose sleep over it.
Do you wake up and start drawing? It's like, "Oh, I gotta remember this idea," or do you just kind of go back to sleep, and if it comes
Well,
back to you, it comes back to you?
as I'm getting older, I can't stay up as I used to. I used to like try to draw all night. But I try to get up early as I can, maybe about 5 or 6, make coffee and start drawing all day, all the way till maybe 10 o'clock until I'm truly tired.
That
Yeah.
would tire me, yeah.
I mean, there's days where as an artist, I don't know, I call it taking a break, but others call it procrastination, and which could be a day,
Hmm,
2 days,
or a breather.
3 days. I've this past year, one moment of a break lasted 3 months. And
Wow.
yeah, I just didn't feel like doing nothing.
How do, collaborations enhance your creative process and impact your artistic vision?
For throughout my whole art career, I've collaborated with people and organizations, and I've learned a lot, and a lot of people have helped me along the way. I also mentored a lot of people along the way and learned a lot of new things, learned a lot of new skills, especially painting, maybe.
Mhm,
Um, Also, building networks, sharing ideas, and working together. It seems like when I've worked with more artists, we've got a lot more accomplished. And so I spent years of working with people, and recently decided that maybe this year I'm just going to focus on uh, kind of like I don't want to sound too like selfish or anything, but just focus more on me
mhm.
and push forward a little bit. Maybe try a little more markets or creating work. So right at the moment, I'm creating nonstop day and night because I also recently resigned as a art teacher, and that was taking up all my time. So right now, I'm trying to do much as I can. I don't know why, but I just feel like the need. I just need to do all this work right now.
Hey, if it's in your head and you got the passion and drive for it, you gotta do it.
Yes.
Looking ahead, what are some of the upcoming projects or themes you're excited to explore in your art?
Let's see. Larger work. Larger work. I'm looking forward to doing some large pieces like like a 6 foot by 8 foot I have a antique map that's about that large of Montana.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm focusing on doing larger work, and I've been doing larger work like 22 by 35 inches. That's pretty large for me. If
Yeah.
I if I'm doing murals, because I'm usually doing like 11 by 17, 8 by 10 pieces, but now I'm doing like large work, and um, I'm just focusing on looking forward to creating large work, and also I might have a few projects, mural projects, because I do murals once in a while. I told myself that I was going to quit doing that because it's a lot of work. I hand paint murals. I don't use spray paint, and it takes longer hand painting. I work with people that try to work
Yeah.
fast, but who knows? But I'm just looking forward to a lot of opportunities coming up, and so far, the opportunities I do have coming up are a few gallery shows.
Fantastic. Anyone's particular that you can share now?
Yes. Like I said, I'm part of the Out West show, which is part of Western Art Week that takes place second week of March in Great Falls, Montana. And it's a huge event in the Western art world based off of the work of Charlie Russell, the
Mhm.
oil painter. So every year they have this art auction, and they auction off a couple original of his. So brings in millions of dollars and a lot of people. So that's what I've been working on this show since October, and
Wow.
and, um, and so after that I have a group showing a group showing with a photographer that works with National Geographic in Bozeman, Montana. And that opens in uh, July. I have another show in Missoula, Montana, with a couple other artists that's themed on animals. That opens up, I think, in August. And then I have
Fantastic.
a new experience I never experienced, for a 1 day show with a group of artists in New York City in September.
Wow. So you have a few things in the pan
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah,
You're busy. You're
yeah,
juggling.
yes.
In what ways do you see or hope your art contributes to the broader conversation about Indigenous culture and identity in contemporary society?
Um, like like a lot of people before me within the art I do, like looking at these winter counts and thinking about people in my family that told some of these important dates in time, were
Mm,
recording history. I feel like at a point my work becomes like culture preservation managed, recording what's happening right now, important times, and telling a story. And then later, I hope that people in my community or indigenous people will look back at my art and realize the stories I was telling, like how I realized the stories that my ancestors were telling on these hides and these ledger papers. Because I spend a lot of time looking at these hides and stories, and
mhm.
yeah, and it's pretty inspiring, and think about these important events. And I had never always thought that way. When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if I was telling a story or anything. Yeah.
Well, you talk about preservation. So, how do you see the role of art in preserving and sharing Indigenous knowledge and traditions for future generations, but also the generation now that's going to continue growing our art form and our story and our storytelling of who we are as a people?
Um, Trying to get our stories accurate and our designs correct, and because nowadays as indigenous people we kind of have like an influence of other tribes. Like a lot of people think that we all use the medicine wheel or the dream catcher,
Mm, right.
and sometimes we have to educate each other where those come from, or who uses those are our own designs. And for example, nowadays a lot of southern tribes in the Southwest are doing imagery of plains tribes and vice versa.
Right.
And so I just want to get it right and correct, because I was taught that way. My grandfather always told me if I was going to draw or do anything, to get it right or correct, even down when I used to try to draw like animals as they were. My grandpa wanted me to get it right, like the horse
Mm,
hoofs. He's like, everybody could paint horses. They always paint horses hoofs in the water or in the grass. They never depict the whole hoof.
Right, right.
Yeah, and so that stuff like that. And so growing up, I just wanted to get it right. So now I have a lot of knowledge and learning from elders of our designs, what they mean, the colors. So I see that in my art as preserving what designs and colors mean, and working with a lot of people and learning all the time. I feel like I'm a lifelong student of our designs and culture. And it's to the point where people are starting to come to me. So I try to get it accurate or ask someone that knows a better idea. But
Hmm.
so that's within my art. I'm trying to get the colors right and the designs right that relate specifically to who we are, where we're at as, like I said, Blackfoot people.
Well, what advice would you give to aspiring Native American artists who are looking to share their stories and perspectives through their art?
Learn who you are. Learn where you're from. It's never too late. Always ask questions. Um, and then there's no right or wrong way of doing anything, especially with technology. It changes all the time.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say, as an Indigenous person, it's also great to learn the basics, drawing basics, painting, color theory, all that, and just never stop.
What message or feeling do you hope viewers take away from experiencing your art? What's the what's the response, or what do you want to tell them or trying to explain to them?
Look, here we are. This is what we've been through. This is where we're at, and this is where we're going, and we're not going away. We are still here. We are stronger than ever.
True, true. As I always say, we didn't disappear after first contact. We're still here, and we're
And
still evolving as a people. So,
yeah, and it's crazy because it's like 2024, and as Indigenous people, we always got to fight for, like I say, a seat at the table, or
mhm.
fight for space and place, and usually it's in our own lands, our own territories. We're fighting, and it's nonstop. And so now I understand what all the elders and older people would always tell us in school: go to school, get educated, come back and help your people. I never understood that at first.
Right.
Yeah,
Is there any other type of art medium you want to work in with that you have not experienced as of yet?
printmaking.
Yeah.
I Yeah, printmaking. I've never done it. I did a small portion of it maybe in college, but I never pursued it. I want to do like the etching and the carving printmaking out of wood and the metal and all that, because I look at it and um, I like it. I like the colors, the solid colors are just the black. Yeah.
Is there any piece that you can think of that you've created that you were surprised at the response it received, or the lack of response it received?
Well, first it's like this. It's like the pieces I like of mine, nobody likes. The pieces I don't like of mine, everybody likes. Yeah. And
Everyone's a critic.
yeah. Um, there's one piece that I put on social media that has got a lot of attention throughout the years, and I just recently like redid a newer version of it, but it was like of a woman pulling a man up, and there's all these crab hands at the bottom.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, are you represented anywhere? Where can people find your work, John?
Um, well, I'm an artist collaborator with Eighth Generation out of Seattle, and so I have blankets and socks and all these products that I always push to. Um, Also, I'm represented by Old Man Gallery in Bozeman, Montana. Um, Frame of Reference Fine Art in Whitefish, Montana, and Medicine Bird Gallery in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Livingston, Montana so far. And me as an artist, I went through a weird period of not wanting to do galleries and cutting out the
Mm.
middleman and just like, um, and so I stuck with one gallery for years because I've been building a relationship even with indigenous issues, and especially with um, cultural appropriation. And then joined the gallery about 3 years now. It's been great. The one, and then I just joined another one, and it's been okay. I'm enjoying it. I like the relationships we're building, especially for like indigenous artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but other than that, I have no problem promoting myself or selling my own work. But I am recently liking working with these galleries right now because um, when I first started, I had this idea that you had to be in a gallery. And I also lived in Santa Fe, and I was denied so many galleries at the time. And during those times, you had to go with a portfolio, not just the
Mm-hmm.
online one, but like a binder and like try to get in. And yeah, and but I was young though. I don't know what I thought. I tried to jump into everything when I was younger.
Hey, try it hand until it sticks. I call it throwing gum at the wall until it sticks. Well, John, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience and tell us about you, your craft, your
Um,
cultural background, and how it influences you?
Makes me stronger. Makes me stronger as a person, especially during hard times. Had some life changing issues within my life, especially with health that I overcame and overcoming. 4 years sober, and and
Fantastic.
and,
Congratulations.
and trying to be healthy because I had health issues with diabetes. So I encourage people to take care of themselves and do much as you can while you can because you never know what it's gonna be like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then just I appreciate you having me on here because I feel that I had to create my own lane and I stuck in my own lane and people are taking notice and I try to help out much people as I can, try to be humble as I can and there's a huge roller coaster of a ride. So if people want to be an artist, choose to be an artist. It's up to you if you really want to do it because I should have been listening years ago to what people were telling me and I just decided to now, you know? And
Hey, it's
yeah.
never too late, my friend. Never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. I know people that haven't done nothing and just are drawing right now or painting right now and just like love it and quit their jobs and pursuing art.
Fantastic. So you have a lot of things in the works. Is there anything else that's next for you that you're planning on?
There's all kinds of things and it's crazy because I enjoy taking on this art life. It keeps me busy. As you can see, I'm sitting in my car right now and I'm so busy. I just did a Zoom call before this too.
Oh,
And
really?
and then
You're in demand.
one one of the best advices I ever heard that I could give that I was told as an artist is learning to say no. And so I've learned to say no to a lot of things because I tried everything and anything you could think of traveling. I thought it was cool to travel every month doing workshops, art shows, art markets, but in the end, in my personal view now, it wasn't even worth it at the time for me. I don't even know what I was thinking, but at least I tried it.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can
so
say you tried it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But as you get older as an artist, I guess you get to pick and choose what you want to do.
True. Well, sir, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure to have you as a guest and much continued success to you.
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
All right, we'll chat soon.
Thank you for embarking on this artistic journey with us. Keep exploring, keep creating. Until we meet again, let your imagination soar beyond the art. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on your preferred podcast platform.